The ONVO L60 to be launched in late September, says ONVO president. The L60 will be available for customers to test drive on the day of its launch, and deliveries will begin about a week after it goes on sale, and this will be at the end of September. Now, ONVO is still yet to unveil the detail of the interior of the L60, but coming out from the brand, they said they'll unveil them at a better occasion within a month. NIO officially launched the ONVO brand on May 15th, which is a sub-brand internally codenamed Alps, and it aims at a mass market. This isn't the only sub-brand that NIO has been working on. They've also been working on Firefly, which is aimed at a lower price market also. So it really seems like each of NIO brands that they're coming out with, the ONVO is set to be a little bit lower than the NIO brand itself in terms of price range. The Firefly codename is set to be even lower than ONVO itself in price range. During a live stream event on Sunday, NIO's CEO William Lee toured the company's second factory within the NIO Park complex, approximately 300 miles from Shanghai. Humanoid robots, robot dogs were undergoing training for inspection tasks at the facility. On the social media platform Weibo, Cine Auto wrote, "The factory also has humanoid robots and robot dogs in training for inspection tasks." Livestream also reveals that the production of the L60, the first model from the sub-brand ONVO, has commenced ahead of the delivery in September. However, a NIO spokesperson clarified to EV that these units are test cars and not the final vehicle intended for customers. So it's widely accepted that the L60 is like a direct competitor to the Tesla Model Y, similar to the Polestar 4, a direct competitor to the Polestar 4, and Polestar 4 itself is a competitor to the Tesla Model Y and the Porsche Macan. The list goes on. But they're all within that SUV coupe range, and they all have varied price. Let's be honest. The Porsche Macan is not a cheap vehicle. Neither is the Tesla Model Y. However, because of Tesla's more recent competitive pricing, it has become a lot more affordable depending on where you're purchasing this vehicle from. The Polestar 4 is not intended to be a cheap vehicle or an affordable vehicle. It's a luxury coupe/SUV. Yes, it's competing with the Macan at a higher price. Yes, it's competing with the Tesla Model Y. ONVO now wants to compete with all of these, all offering the ONVO L60 at a lower price. So if NIO delivers unpromised with the L60, we can definitely say it's going to be quite a success. It's going to be well received. If it's anything like the NIO's vehicles itself, it's going to be well received. After all, this is supposed to be a more affordable brand. This is the brand that NIO can take a few more risks with. They want to protect the NIO brand itself as much as possible. They want to keep it luxurious. They want to keep it premium. They want to keep the price as high as possible to make the best premium. Makes complete sense, all while offering cheaper vehicles. It's genius. Take up the cheaper market as well. Take up the high-end market as well. The new ONVO model leak expected to be a 6-seater SUV. That would be quite something. As it prepares to start producing the L60, the first model of its sub-brand ONVO, the electric vehicle maker NIO is developing a second model, a larger 6-seater SUV, expected to be unveiled in 2025. Images of the model appeared in a clip showing a presentation about ONVO's software, where the upcoming SUV appeared in several screenshots. The vehicle is expected to utilize the same platform as the brand's first model and the Model Y competitor, the L60. That's very interesting that they'll be using the same platform. In late May, NIO's senior vice president and president of the sub-brand ONVO, Alan A., announced that the brand is developing a 6-seater and 7-seater model aimed at larger families. Larger families, but at the same time, more affordable for people. The president highlighted that the space capacity of the second model will rival that of MPV, with a road test prototype set to unveil soon. Local media outlet CNI reported in May. Both ONVO and Beijing-based Li Auto target the personal use auto market, and their price overlap. "I believe there will definitely be competition between the pair," the chief said. Now, additionally, in saying all of this, we do have an article from Yahoo Finance, Benzinga, NIO Xpeng Li Auto benefits from Chinese increased vehicle subsidies. But what does this mean? What does it mean really? China has expanded its stimulus program by approximately 300 billion wons, that's $41.5 billion, to subsidize purchases of passenger vehicles and consumer electronics, aiming to boost stagnant retail spending. Now, is it okay for China to do this? Of course it is. China has developed their economy, their ecosystem, their country at an impressive rate. Now the country sees that they have an abundance of money on hand. What should they do with it? Of course, you would reinvest it back into your country, back into the companies. Of course, you'd reinvest it back into your economy. Of course, you would reinvest it back into your country to continue to be a great country. Reinvest it back into futuristic technology, technology that will be leading the way for the next 50 years, 100 years. Why wouldn't a country do that? And this is the controversy. A lot of people don't like it that China is supporting its own business this much, which is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's like saying, why is the US supporting NASA? Why are Tesla, SpaceX getting so much funding from American companies and American investors? Isn't that unfair? No, it isn't. Everyone is reinvesting back into their country, back into their economy, so their home brands, their home companies do well, do the best. This is what China knows best, and this is what they're doing at an alarming rate. Don't hate the game. Do not hate the game. This is the game you chose to play, and China knows how to play this game really well, and they know how to win. And now that they're playing it really well, people seem to be getting upset that they're playing it really well. What is this, Monopoly? Of course, China is going to reinvest back into their economy. That's what a good government is supposed to do. I mean, who out there disagrees with me? Isn't a good government supposed to reinvest back into its economy, back into its environment, back into its country? Of course, anything outside of Europe and the US, anyone outside of there doing this, it is somehow unfair. It is somehow not supposed to be done. Excuse me? I mean, the hypocrisy is ridiculous. Anyway, the National Development and Reform Commission and the Ministry of Finance made a joint announcement on Thursday. The funding will come from 1 trillion wons to be raised this year by issuing ultra-long special treasury bonds. Nikkei Asia report, the subsidies for trading in passenger cars for new energy vehicles will double to 20,000 wons, up from 10,000 won subsidies announced in April. Trade-ins for gasoline vehicles will increase to 15,000 wons from 7,000 wons. China's automotive industry, including services, accounts for nearly 10% of the country's gross domestic product. However, domestic new vehicle sales in June fell below this year's early level for second consecutive months. The subsidies will also target the consumer electronics sectors, where domestic sales have been sluggish due to the real estate slump. The funds will also support manufacturing facilities, targeting equipment upgrades in the industrial, environmental, transport, and logistics sectors. The People's Bank of China expected an unscheduled lending operation at much lower rates, signaling a potential boost in monetary stimulus to support the economy. China lowered key interest rate to stimulate its economy. This decision comes in response to several economical challenges, including weak second quarter growth. So this is China's response to their economy issues, reinvest back in your economy so it's prosperous. China is not trying to stop Germany from reinvesting back into VW, Audi, Mercedes, BMW. They're not stopping Porsche. China is not trying to stop the US from investing into Ford, Tesla, Cadillac, all those homegrown companies in the US or in the European companies. No one is interfering. No one is saying you shouldn't subsidize your brands and support your companies and fund these brands. No one is saying you shouldn't start new companies and fund them. But the US and Europe are saying China shouldn't do that. China shouldn't fund their own companies. China shouldn't fund NIO, fund XPeng, fund Li Auto. Look at these beautiful vehicles. Imagine not having them. So Europe has really run the entire world when it comes to automotive, including Japan and including the US a little bit. But here's the thing, they don't want to give up that seed. They don't want to share it with anyone. They don't want to have China being competitive because China is stepping up their game, and China is stepping up their game at an alarming rate. And competition, they don't want competition right now, not right now, because China can afford competition. China is probably the most competitive country you can ever imagine exists for any human being to live in. China is very competitive in all realms. They thrive on competitiveness. You won't beat them at this game. You won't beat them at competitiveness. When China used to try to make, engine vehicles, ICE vehicles, and they weren't very successful, you got to understand that was out of just trying something. China has a problem, global issues, clean air. They have smogs. They want to clean up their environment. In order to do this, they need electric vehicles desperately, and they need them in an efficient way. So the Chinese population is quickly adapting to electric vehicles, rather quickly. This works really well for China because China's never really had a strong car culture when it comes to big engines, loud noise, not American or, not like a Japanese type, not even like a German type. They've always been a bit more subtle. They've always focused on other things. So transforming to electric vehicles is actually quite logical for the citizens. So China has no choice but to develop its own EVs and to sell them abroad and to sell them within China in order to clean up their environment. They have to invest in this to save their country because they've had so much emissions, affecting their country for such a long time. So this is the way forward. And you're going to tell them that they're not supposed to they're not supposed to save their country by supporting these brands? Rubbish. This is where we'll end this video. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to see more. Leave a like, leave a comment, and I will see you in our next video. Peace.